How's it going? It's LBB Yugioh, and today I'm going to be talking to you about all the different formats on TikTok. So you know those guys that just sit around and they're just on their Duel Disks on live? Like, what are they doing? Are they playing competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, or like, are they just playing for fun? Like, what exactly is going on here? We got over 5 different formats that have transpired all across these last 2 years. And that actually started from 2 people alone. That was Max Level and Mobron, the 2 owners of Dueltainer Network, which they've grown a lot since then, but they were the originators of the format. They've done a lot of cool things, like throughout live dueling on TikTok. They've been seen by Barstool Sports, Yu-Gi-Oh memes, even Gage, one of the best Yu-Gi-Oh TCG players around. Really big fan of Edison format, has seen the game and enjoys it so much. The very first format was known as Duel Disk format, but it's known today as Dueltainer format. Now that was started back in, I believe, 2019, 2020, where a bunch of people got together and started dueling live on Duel Disks using those, you know, those weird arm things that you might see on your TikTok live. Those are people playing Yu-Gi-Oh on Duel Disks. So basically, they decided to make a format where it was more fun to watch, because a lot of people started coming in with a lot of meta decks and a lot of really sweaty decks, and where the casual base that was on TikTok couldn't hang, because like a lot of competitive players were getting into it as it was growing. So they decided to make a tier list for it to make the game more fun and enjoyable, not only to the players that don't know too much about Yu-Gi-Oh, but also to players that aren't really like used to the game as well. So later on, the Dueltainer Network met this guy named Yugioh Armoto. He's a voice actor on TikTok, and he had over 300 to 400,000 followers. And they ended up getting together and like shooting content together. Yugioh ended up breaking off from them for reasons unknown to do his own format and his own thing. So that caused the Dueltainer Network and Yugioh's format to like split off. So that was the beginning of 2 different formats becoming 2 different things, and like 2 different parts of Yu-Gi-Oh. So that's where a lot of conflict happened on the live scene. Yugioh ended up leaving the Yu-Gi-Oh community, and the format was taken over by Smoke and Team Trash TCG. They ended up calling it Millennial Format, where they kept track of the ban list and they made sure a lot of those decks were hit. And it was still more open wide than the Dueltainer Network, but more controlled compared to how Boomer was in the past. So all these formats have something very in common with each other. It can't use XYZ monsters, Link monsters, or Pendulum monsters. Just straight up Fusion or Synchro, but that's where Affinity format stands out. This is a format created by Yugioh, aka Venture Tower Gaming, where you can actually XYZ summon in his format. Now, a lot of these things that these formats have in common with is that they all inspired and became from the Dueltainer Network. So you got the timeline, you got the Dueltainer Network, you got Boomer formats, then you got Affinity format around the same time, and then you got Millennial formats. So my personal insight when it comes to the game is Dueltainer formats is a lot more fun to me. It's more challenging to build a deck with cards that are hit, so my decks are a lot weaker, but I always want to try to figure out a way to how to make my deck stronger. Whereas the Boomer format's more fun because you can just go all out. It's now called Millennial format, but it's fun to go all out in that one, and it's good in Dueltainer to like challenge pick your brain at using a different strategy to get those combos that you want. I essentially wanted to make this video to tell you guys all the differences when you get on TikTok Live and you see all these different Dueltainers and they tell you what format they're playing. So you might hear Affinity format, you might hear Millennial, you might hear Dueltainer, you might hear TCG. People might just be on live playing TCG. And there's a lot of miscellaneous formats that I probably don't even know that are just like hanging around out there that just haven't gotten any traction yet. So that's just something to know if you're on the TikTok verse and you see Yu-Gi-Oh stuff being done. Altogether, this isn't like a video to bash on all the different formats and which one's better, which one's not better. It's more along the lines of trying to show you guys all the different things that you see on TikTok Live. As a regular TCG Yu-Gi-Oh player, you might not know these things are happening, but they are a thing that's happening on TikTok as we speak. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you leave a like and leave a comment down below of like which one of these is your favorite. Maybe you know one that I don't know. Make sure you leave a comment and let me know like what that new format is that I haven't heard of. Maybe I'll do a video about it.